I officially turned 23 on July, and I wanted to take a moment to look back on a year that was truly challenging but also filled with the most positive changes of my life. Last year, at the age of 22, I chose to step back, letting go of many things even more than when I was 21. I made some mistakes, lost some important things, and completely lost my way. Things started to change around me, and I spent more time alone trying to figure out what I was doing wrong and where I wanted to go next. At 22, I made some decisions that I would never have imagined when I was 20 or 21. But through all that confusion and loneliness, I had some really valuable lessons that completely made my life easier and less stressful. The lessons are not for everyone, they just work for me, helping me feel more peaceful and stop worrying so much about other people's problems. So please consider them as a reference only. Lesson number one, life becomes simpler when you don't care or careless about other people's business. Before, I really like listening to other people's dramas and caring about what's happening around me. But the truth is, if I care too much about it, I don't have time to improve myself, and that's not good at all. Later, I also feel very tired and exhausted when listening to those stories, so gradually I get less involved in other people's business. And in fact, I have a lot of time to study, to work, and to explore new things that are good for myself. And just like that, I feel like I'm getting better, and life is more comfortable. Not caring about other people's business doesn't mean you are cold or indifferent. It's because you realize that you can't control, change, or fix other people's problems. That's beyond your control. Lesson number two, save money, but don't live like you are poor when you are not. There is a difference between being smart with money and being stingy and sacrificing your health and happiness. Instead of cutting expenses, focus on making more money. If you want something, don't wait until you have enough money. Start small and build up. If you want to travel, try taking smaller, cheaper trips when you are young and energetic, and then save up for bigger trips later. Lesson number three, when you start to feel scared, that's when you should take action. Fear is often a sign that you are about to level up or have something that needs to change in you. When you see signs of fear, don't ignore it. Face it. Most of the time, what you are avoiding is exactly what you need to do. For example, when a job opportunity comes to me, the first thing is not because I am happy to have that job, but because I am afraid of not being able to do the job well. That fear not only limits myself, but also tests my abilities. Usually in the past, I would choose to stop, listen to my heart, gain many excuses about that job to give up. Now, if I realize that it is a potential opportunity, something that contributes to my ultimate goal, then even if I am afraid, I will still accept it. Because I know that I am about to unlock a new version of myself. I have to do the thing that I'm afraid of, and I can be stronger and can change myself better. Lesson number four, don't be afraid to make mistakes because it's a part of growing up. I heard this advice many times, but it was not until I experienced it that I truly understood. At the age of 22, I made a mistake that I lost trust from my client, and it made me think a lot. I used to think that, why did I make this mistake? They would not forgive me. They would not want to work with me anymore. But what can I do? I made a mistake. There is no going back. I have to pay the price of losing their trust to get this lesson and learn to become more mature. Every time I think about my mistake, I always feel regretful, but not to the point of losing sleep, because I am grateful that these mistakes have created a better me and helped me will not make that mistake again. Lesson number five, quality is more important than quantity in relationships. You don't need a huge circle of friends, but the relationship you have must be of good quality. For me, once you connect with someone, make sure that the connection is based on mutual respect and sincerity. Only then can it last. When I was in my first year of university, I always had this mindset, but my circle of friends was still at 5 or 6 people I often met and had quite a few social relationships. However, as I grew older, graduated, and started working, I started to gradually filter out relationships that were no longer suitable. It doesn't mean I hate them because in reality, I don't have time to hate them. I just see that they are no longer suitable for me. So I decided to stop connecting and meeting them. Lesson number 6, set boundary and stick to them. Set rules for yourself in every aspect of your life so that people respect you and don't take advantage of your kindness. For example, if someone makes an appointment with me and then disappear or cancel at the last minute without explanation or noticing, I will stop seeing them. It doesn't matter how long we haven't known each other, because I don't want to use that as an excuse for them to be late for an appointment with me, to let them do whatever they want. Time is precious to them, and it is the same for me. Respect must always come first. I don't want to become an easy person in their eyes and let them decide whatever they want. That's not right and can cause a lot of consequences for myself later. Lesson number 7, don't take any job just for the money. If you are not in a situation where you have to make a living because of difficult family circumstances, do not accept a job just for money. That job is probably not suitable for you because when you choose that job, you only put money first. And other factors are fine with you, whatever it is, you do not care about them, and in the end, the result is that you find it doesn't match your value you pursue, doesn't help you develop further. So be patient and wait for something that matches your goals and your values. I also struggled to try many jobs, many positions before finally having a job that I can land and devote myself to. I do not dare to say how long it will last, but at least it is useful to the value and goal I am aiming for. Lesson number 8, staying away from social media is a very peaceful thing. I almost stopped posting anything about my life or work. Before that, I was someone who often posted about myself on social media. As a result, nothing worked out for me. If I talk about it today, it would definitely not work out the next day. Until I stopped posting, everything went smoothly. And the thing that didn't go smoothly were only known to me. No one knew, so I didn't have to worry about what people said about me anymore. So it's very peaceful, the feeling of not knowing anything about me. Currently, I only use social media for work or for self-development. For example, I make YouTube videos to practice my English speaking, my presentation skill, and to say my lesson. I'm very careful about talking about what I'm doing, and not to mention, I often feel frustrated when surfing social media, and luckily I know how to control that. I don't like surfing anymore, even if the app is on my phone. I don't bother to open it, because in reality, I have many other things to worry about. Lesson number 9, always pick up the phone when your parents call. Time with your parents is limited. You have time, but they don't. So when they call, always try to pick up the phone. If you miss their call today, call them back later or the next day. Don't let week go by without talking to them. Don't let the phrase, I wish I talked to my parents more, come out of your mouth. Lesson number 10, don't raise your voice at your parents. Even if they are wrong, even if you are upset, they ultimately want what's best for you. You can disagree with your parent in a respectful way. Listen to what they have to say, then calmly explain your point of view and explain why you're not following their advice. If they are upset because you are not listening to them, seek out other perspectives, then piece together what direction is right for you. Your parent may be right, but the way they say it makes it sound like they're imposing their advice on you, and you don't like that. So you have to listen to many perspectives to avoid making mistakes. Life is your choice, but showing respect costs nothing. So lesson number 11, stop seeking validation from others. Who doesn't want to be accepted? Me too. I used to love having someone recognize my efforts, even if it were a small recognition, rather than ignoring what I did. But later, I realized that no one had the obligation to do that to me. They can do whatever they want. For example, when I went to work, instead of wanting them to recognize me, to recognize my efforts, to recognize my work, I simply thought that they had already done that by paying me money. And I found that being accepted was tiring. Always trying to do what others wanted, seeing if they were satisfied with me or not. So I decided to stop. I chose to accept myself first, even the good or bad thing. And once you do this, if the right person in the right time, you will automatically have the recognition without having to try. Lesson number 11. You don't need to pursue a title or position to feel that lives become greater and more meaningful. Not everyone needs to build something great or famous. You can live a quiet life and still be extremely happy. You can have just one shining moment in your life, and that's enough for you. In the past, I really cared about a specific title or position because at that time I believed that it would say something about who I was. Until I realized that if I no longer had that position, then who would people see me as? Because before that, I always tried to let people see me according to that position. And you know what? The answer for that question was no one. And most of all, but after a period of pursuing things, precision did not follow me for long. They came and went. And I realized that I no longer found them necessary. I was no longer happy with the position. Instead, I chose the thing I liked to do more, bringing some influence to a certain group of people. That's what meaningful and great to me. Lesson 13. Sometimes you have to pay the price to become independent. I really struggle with this. I had to choose between staying in the city I live in now or moving back in with my family. Moving back would save a lot of money. No rent, home cooked meals, no utilities bill. But I realized that it would put me back in my comfort zone, and comfort zone don't help me grow. So I chose to stay in the city where I'm living now and struggle a bit financially, working harder to pay my own rent and bills. Independence isn't free. Sometimes you have to sacrifice comfort and convenience for something bigger, but the self-reliance and personal growth you develop make every penny worth it. Lesson number 14. You don't have to follow the traditional path. Graduating, finding a stable job, getting married, having children, that's a way of life, but not the only way. At the age of 23, my life is still uncertain, but at least I know what I'm aiming for. Unlike my friend who graduated and then joined a company with a stable monthly salary, my journey is kind of tiring, full of doubts. I still enjoy the journey of going and trying because every time I go, every time I try, life show me a completely new version of myself. Lesson 15. You cannot get rich quick in marketing if you do it honestly. If you see people doing marketing to make quick money in a short time, they are rapidly selling courses or digital products. I don't mean to stereotype all course sellers, but be careful. If someone is selling you a course that they have no real expertise in, haven't worked for a real company for a long time, or just because they have a few dozen or a few hundred followers, you should probably think twice before buying. Some people even steal other people's content and repackage it without really learning or testing it. Get rich quick by selling products like that? I am not interested at all. The truth is that doing honest marketing without trying to scam anyone may make you less money and make you rich lower. But at least you can sleep well and not worry about your work ethics anymore. Lesson number 16. Being hesitant about work makes you unreliable, but that's normal when you're young. When you are young, it is easy to quit your job impulsively or constantly change your mind about what you want. But if you constantly change your mind, always wanting to stop or quit, people will not want to work with you anymore. But it is completely normal to feel that way because you are young. You're still hesitant, you're still unclear about what you are doing. However, try to commit your decision within a reasonable period of time because that will greatly affect you if you need to work with the previous partner in the future. So remember, try to commit and be more responsible. Lesson number 17, create a detailed 5-year picture for yourself. I used to think this was complete nonsense. How can I know what I want in 5 years? That's a long time. And how can I be sure that I will actually get there? But the truth is, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can adjust it gradually. The point isn't to predict the future exactly, but to give yourself direction. Having a clear picture of where you want to go help you answer the question, what am I doing with my life when things feel chaotic? The more specific, the better. Even if you change direction later, at least you are moving forward instead of just going blind. Lessons number 18. Start building something of your own. In a world that changes so quickly, having something of your own, a skill, a project, a side hustle, provides security and peace. It doesn't have to be big, just something you can call your own. I do this alongside my main job, and it gives me a lot of peace of mind while I build my own projects. No matter what happens in the market that may affect my main job, at least my personal project can save me in time. Lesson number 19. Don't change yourself just because someone treats you badly. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to respond the same way they did to you. But here's the thing, if you do that, you are becoming like them, which isn't who you are. Instead, treat them with kindness. This doesn't make you weak or vulnerable. It's so that you respect yourself and your core values. You can be kind while still having boundaries and rules. Of course, it depends on the situation and the person, but for most non-serious issues, a gentle approach like the one I mentioned above is better than responding with negative energy. Lesson number 20. Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. I learned it from my situation. When everyone jumped on the AI bandwagon, I was scared at first, and I thought if I didn't start learning about AI, I would fall behind. So I followed them and started learning about it too. But after a while, I realized I didn't have to rush to copy what others were doing. I go back to create my own content, exposing myself instead of creating AI-generated content, because I believe that the content revealing my face, it will last longer. AI-generated content can be copied and mass-produced by anyone. As you know, YouTube recently announced that they would be monitoring AI content more closely, and many AI content creators were panicking that they would no longer be able to monetize. But I wasn't worried at all because I had foreseen this and chose to maintain and continue with content revealing my face. Lesson number 21. Don't overthink when people don't reply to your messages immediately. Yeah, stop overthinking when someone doesn't reply to your message, or when they say it but don't respond, or when you ask someone to do something for you and they don't respond until close to the deadline. Because if they don't respond, they are rapidly busy. Try to contact them in another way, or if they see it but don't respond, they probably saw it but forgot to respond, not because they are ignoring you. Or if your request isn't urgent, just handle it yourself and they can help you later. We don't meet in person, so we don't understand its other lives and circumstances. Don't overthink everything, or people won't want to interact or work with you anymore. Lesson number 22, and also the last lesson. If it doesn't affect your life or interest, let it be. I am the type of person who stays quiet when there is drama or conflict going around me. I just listen and try to understand the situation, remaining neutral without giving my opinion. But if something directly affects my interest or has a significant impact on my life, I will not hesitate to speak up and even argue if necessary. And when I follow this, my life becomes more peaceful and gets simpler. Looking back, 20 wasn't exactly a happy year for me. I was really lost, sometimes trying to fill my life with distractions that didn't really help me. I had to go off social media, spend a lot of time alone, and really work on being more optimistic about life. I also connected with positive people, immersed myself in comics and movies that made me feel good, and slowly started to find my way back to myself. I hope the lesson learned through my mistake, immaturity, and personal experiences will give you a new perspective on some of life's challenges and problems. Maybe they will help you turn complex problem into a similar one. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!